Well, there are approximately 31,000 New Mexicans with Alzheimer's disease today, and they are being cared for by more than 100,000 unpaid family caregivers. The emotional and financial toll of caregiving can be overwhelming, but folks, you are not alone. The Alzheimer's Association of New Mexico chapter is hosting a family caregiver conference this Saturday, and Communications and Advocacy Director Jamie Fry has more information. Jamie, welcome back.
Thank you.
As we were just talking during the break, this is it's a very difficult thing, being a family member and a caregiver. So let's talk about this role that the caregiver plays in the treatment of their family.
They play a really important role, actually, both in the care of their family member and in our healthcare system. The 105,000 caregivers you mentioned here in New Mexico, if they were to be paid for their labor, would cost us about $1.4 billion a year. That's just in New Mexico.
Wow.
So family caregivers are huge. They're also under a tremendous amount of stress. About 60% of family caregivers rate their stress as high or very high. About a third suffer symptoms of depression, and about 30% of them also have kids under 18. We call them sandwich caregivers because they have elderly folks that they're caring for, family members, and children. So they're stretched pretty thin. So the conference is an attempt to help them get some education and some support because they really need it.
Right. Now, we talking a little bit about, especially the sandwiching caregiver, because I'm in a similar situation. What are some of the effects that this has? Because it's not like we're going to the hospital and there's a sort of clinical separation. These are people you've grown up with and that you love, and you develop that relationship. So what are some of the things that are affecting our caregivers?
Well, stress is a major one. Not knowing where to find resources. As you mentioned before, the Alzheimer's Association has a lot of resources available to caregivers. Specifically, our Savvy Caregiver program, which is a 7-week evidence-based class that teaches caregivers practical strategies for lowering their stress and improving their skills. Lots of folks who go through that find that it makes the caregiving experience a little bit easier, and it helps them care for themselves a little bit. Folks who care for individuals with Alzheimer's or dementia have very specific challenges. Alzheimer's doesn't just affect memory, it affects judgment and reason, and those kinds of things can be very stressful when someone is in your home and you're watching someone who you've grown up with and you've known change their personality, make mistakes, do things that they don't usually do. It's very stressful, it's very upsetting. Well,
so you talked about some of these tools. What are some of the other tools that we'll be learning at this event?
We have gathered experts from all over the state to help connect caregivers with resources. We have folks who are experts in elder law, we have folks who are experts in caregiving, we have people who have practical information that they can share with you, and it also helps you connect with other caregivers. We also have a little bit of pampering. We know that folks who are caregivers very rarely take time for themselves, so we'll have some pampering on site.
And there's some awards too as well, right? You're going to be giving away the Marion Vallejos Caregiver of the Year Award as well as the Hero of the Year Award. Tell us a little about those awards.
The Marion Vallejos Caregiver of the Year celebrates a family or professional caregiver who really finds joy and satisfaction in caregiving, and the Community or Business Hero of the Year is awarded to an organization or a business that contributes significantly to the well-being of the caregiving community.
Great. And how can our viewers learn more about this conference and register?
You can go to alz.org/New Mexico or give us a call at 266-4473. You can dial our 800 number too, 800-272-3900.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again, Jamie, so much.
Thanks,
we really appreciate you putting this on because, like we said, this is a very tough battle.
I should mention it's free, too.
It's free.
It's free.
Always good to know. It is free. All right. Well, still ahead in